After 4 leisurely days, we leave the Crinan Canal and immerse into the magic of the Scottish Highlands, the pinnacle of our sailing season. Ahead of us lays the Sound of Jura and the Sound of Luing, which will bring us to our next destination, Oban. We are headed towards the Doras Moor. It's got a bit of a dangerously sounding name, Doras Moor. It is a narrows where the tide can flow up to 8 knots, so you want to get that at the right time. We are at the right time, the tide is going with us, so looking over there through the gap, it should look quite okay at the moment. Right after the Doras Moor is the Corryvreckan, which we want to avoid to be sucked in. We'll show you some pictures later on. It's stunning, this landscape here with all these small islands and the rock formations, and also the weather that is playing in. Some sun, some grey skies over there, but it looks just absolutely stunning. There's a few boats up there, there's 2, there's one coming down here, and we're heading towards the Doras Moor out there. The Corryvreckan. The very name sounds ominous and threatening. Seasoned yachtsmen turn pale at the thought of its infamous whirlpools and overfalls. There are many legends around the Corryvreckan. One says the watery wonder was named after a Viking prince who perished while trying to prove his love to a Scottish princess after her father gave him the risky task of keeping his boat in the whirlpool for 3 nights. The real reason for the whirlpool's existence is less than fantastical, though not less interesting. The Corryvreckan has a giant rock pinnacle under the sea which rises up to just 29 meters below the surface. It is this obstruction that causes the whirlpool. Water is forced upwards when it hits against the rock, causing huge swirling waves. Sometimes, in particularly stormy weather, the roaring of the whirlpool can be heard from 20 miles away. But today, the Corryvreckan showed us its sunny face. It's amazing, we're doing 4.5 knots through the water, but we're doing 9 knots over ground. So we have 4.5 knots, 5 knots of current with us at the moment. A bit scary happened. The depth out went from 20 meters to 3.6 and 3.4 and then back to 20. So I think it's probably the turbulences that caused that in the water. A bit strange, because we should be safe here. It is indeed caused by water turbulence. The same happens when we dig in our anchor in reverse, causing turbulent water passing the depth sounder. After we successfully passed the Doras Moor, didn't get swallowed by the sea monster of the Corryvreckan and cut through the fierce turbulences between the islands of Flada and Dubsgair, we safely arrive in Oban. Oban, which has its name from the Gaelic Little Bay, is the unofficial capital of the West Highlands and the gateway to the Hebridean Islands. Tucked in safely in the marina on Bernera Island, we watch our first of many wonderful sunsets over the Scottish Highlands. We've been in Carrera Marina Oban for the last 4 days. We've enjoyed life first on a berth and then on a mooring ball, and now it's very nice weather and it looks settled until Monday. Today is Saturday, so we decided to go out and look out for an anchor. In here we're now in the full grip of the tide. We went from 7 knots over ground to 3.5 knots over ground in about 20 meters or so. We're still doing 6.4 through the water, but only 3.2 over ground.
Lismore Lighthouse. This major lighthouse at the entrance of the Sound of Mull was built in 1830. It was one of the first lighthouses in the area. With 26 meters, it towers on a small island south of Lismore. Its white color and white flashing light guides shipping in the Sound of Mull day and night. Bernera Island was settled by Irish monks in the 6th century. Saint Columba used this island as a private place for retreat, meditation and prayer. Thanks to the details of Antares charts, we find this beautiful anchorage between the islands of Lismore and Bernera. As usual, when we arrive in a new anchorage, we make a few turns to explore the depth and compare it to the chart.
Squat!
Once happy with the location, we drop the anchor, pay out a scope of 4 to 5 and dig in hard our rock anchor. The island is designated a site of special scientific interest on the basis of its feature of limestone cliffs along with the presence of scarce rock whitebeam shrubs. We spent hours watching the curious seals chasing our dinghy, and we admired the majestic flight of a white-tailed sea eagle.
Hersenbladen.
Ja, je was.
Halt.
If you like our videos, help us by giving us a like, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Join us next time when we continue our journey up the Sound of Mull to Tobermory and visit the manufacturing of one of the Scottish Highlands' signature products.